Good morning. Welcome to the second in our series of global introductions to the grademetrix product range this week. Across our product range, we are introducing a new value point that lowers the barrier to entry for contractors, providing solutions for machines and site works with an easy-to-use operating interface without compromise on performance or functionality. To make sure you fully understand the benefits of the machine side of the product range, I strongly recommend you to also register for tomorrow's Grademetrix Excavator Edition at www.grademetrix.com. After seeing the benefits of the solution in this presentation, consider inviting key people from your company to attend tomorrow's Excavator webinar so that they can also see how these exciting new systems save you money and at the right price. A couple of quick notes before we go on. Some of the attendees on this webinar are new and some attended previous webinars. For those attending again, some of the content will be familiar, but this webinar focuses solely on the sitemetrix solution and how it can transform your costs and tasks on site. So you will definitely see new content. Questions can be asked in the chat box to the right of your screen, as team members are standing by to answer your questions individually and live. You can also download sitemetrix and grademetrix brochures to the right of the screen. Lastly, I'd like to encourage you to contact your local Hemisphere dealer right after the presentation. He'll be able to discuss the system benefits with you and schedule a demonstration or trial. Invest 15 minutes of your time to see how you can save costs and increase efficiency at an affordable price. One of our dealers took his first call 10 minutes after a previous presentation, a contractor tired of paying too much money. You can also call us here at Hemisphere and we'll put you in touch with the right people to assist you. These are the points that I will cover in this presentation. A brief outline of the team here at Hemisphere in Brisbane, a look at the key features of the system and the benefits they provide, and a technology review outlining the performance of the components. Following this, I'll run a video that goes through the functionality and the use of the system using our simulator as the presenting tool. And lastly, I'll go through a summary and price guide before closing. I'd now like to introduce you to the team. I'm Tony Clear and I manage the region of Australia and New Zealand at Hemisphere. I'm supported by Mark Brook in the field application role and also by Liam Anderson, who is our operations manager. Mark is an extremely experienced engineer, having managed the machine control operation at one of Australia's largest civil contractors, and I come from a GPS and machine control background covering Europe, US and Australia. Today, we'll also utilise the services of our US colleague, Todd Medine, who will introduce the system to you on the simulator. Our partners in Australia all come from a services background, which is a different model to traditional machine control providers. We hope that with our experience, with these excellent new products, and with the background experience of our partners, we can offer you a leading step into the efficiency, accuracy, and profitability that machine guidance can provide. And so to the sitemetrix system. In this slide, I'll introduce you to some of the key components. The sitemetrix system has been designed for use by a contractor or supervisor, a non-surveyor. That said, it is designed with the full survey functionality and industry-leading technology and performance. The user will be experiencing the same look and feel as a machine operator, which is ideal for typical construction site usage. A machine operator on a machine or a supervisor with a pole. Constant site information is available for the user, generally without any button push. The view you see on the larger screen here shows the user his cut and fill to design and his location on the plan view with respect to the line work. More on the benefits of the system in the next slide. The system can be acquired as a base and rover set or as a rover only, and all units can operate as either a base or a rover. If you're using the system on your own, set up the base and work with the rover. On a site with a base already operating, the addition of a second screen gives you 2 rover units. The C631 antenna comes fully configured with all the latest technology available today. It can connect to any base station, radio or in-trip, and tracks all satellite constellations. While the solution is perfect for the site contractor non-surveyor, more experienced users can access all the normal survey features expected of a site rover unit. Stakeout, pickup, volume calcs, etc. can all be completed on the sitemetrix rover unit. In addition to the site survey functionality, the user also manages the functionality of the grademetrix machine guidance systems on site. The one unit controls your whole site. So what are the benefits of these features shown here? The first and major benefit is the ability to complete your own grade checks and stakeout work. Jumping forward in the presentation, imagine if we could get you into a full basin rover solution for less than $350 a week. Keep this in mind as we go through the presentation. How many times do you pay for professional services for grade checking and restaking of marks? What is the minimum survey call-out fee? $750, $800? If you have 1 day a week where you stake your own points, complete your own grade checks, or mark out your own trench line, you're ahead. This before even taking into account speed, accuracy, and material savings. I'll give you some examples. The excavator is ready to start the trench work for the sewer and water on site. What is the exact location of the pipe route? Call the surveyor? Why not set out the culverts and junctions and paint out the route on the ground yourself? The culvert invert has to be at an RL of 10.68 metres. The excavator has been digging at the site you staked and is at the right depth, you think. Call the surveyor to check the invert, or maybe place your own rover into the trench and confirm that the invert is correct. Of course, if you have a grademetric excavator system on the excavator, it will naturally be correct already. The dozer has made a couple of passes along the crown of the road, attempting to cut as close as possible to the curb line. All the pegs are gone. Drama? Call the surveyor? Why not just set the pegs back out yourself? But not before simply walking along the road to confirm that the position and height at the edge and crown are correct. The dozer is boxing out the road. Why not walk behind it on its final pass and check the base cut as it's working? Base material has arrived on site and some has been used. How much is left? How much is needed for the base of the road? A quick survey on the road base compared to the design file will tell you how much is needed. A quick survey on the stockpile will tell you how much material you have. Order more, how much more? The decision is easy now that you're working with actual volume facts. And remember, all of these benefits for $350 a week, and you're saving $750 by not calling on the surveyor one time in that week. On larger sites, mount the antenna to the roof of your vehicle and the screen in the cab. Set the height to the ground and simply drive the site with real-time cut fill being displayed at all times to the desired design file. Drive a pad picking up points as you go in order to create an as-built file on the fly. Drive around a stockpile in order to create a base surface for use in the loader to ensure that the material is cut right to the base, not constantly creeping up. To summarise, the major benefit here is reduction, particularly in professional survey costs, but also in time, accuracy, and material costs. Wait time for professional services also costs you money. Avoid this by simply checking your own grades, setting out your own stakes, and setting out your own boundaries and guidelines. As your sites are getting done faster and more accurately, you are reducing your costs considerably on labour and fuel. Material costs are also dramatically reduced. You're not overcutting, which saves on waste costs and replacement material costs, and you're not undercutting, which saves on rework costs and time. With the sitemetrix basin rover, you have complete control of your site. This brings me to the technology section of the presentation. All constellations are provided in the sitemetrix and grademetrix solutions. On the top right, you can see 46 satellites being tracked from American, Russian, European, Chinese, and Japanese constellations. On the bottom right, you can see 22 satellites being tracked from GPS and GLONASS only. So where is the benefit? On a clear site with no obstructions, there is no benefit. But what about normal working conditions? If trees are filtering access to satellites, you need as many as possible to guarantee position and accuracy lock. In built-up urban environments, you need as many as possible to reduce the effect of multipath and blockages. And in urban canyons or mine environments, you obviously need as many as possible due to the limited sky view. The new C631 antenna is the highest level of technology available today. 800 plus channels are available for reception of all constellations as mentioned in the last slide. The receiver can be used with the inbuilt radio to receive corrections from the base or using N-trip, utilising the inbuilt modem to bring corrections via the cell phone network. All standard base station corrections are able to be received and transmitted if being used as a base. The system comes with dual hot swappable lithium batteries that allow the unit to maintain operation while batteries are changed and to last for a full 12-hour day. While the aim is to create a simple and affordable site tool for the non-surveyor contractor or supervisor, full survey functionality is also available on board. A further point to mention here is the 3-year warranty. Hemisphere has been in the market for many years and is the first choice supplier of GPS components for many OEM manufacturers. We know how to put components together. The rigorous testing we do gives us complete confidence to offer such an extensive peace of mind 3-year warranty. The system is able to be supplied with either the UT20 7-inch screen or the UT50 10-inch screen. These screens are high visibility, high response touchscreens with integrated Wi-Fi, Ethernet, and Bluetooth, and are IP67 rated for water and dust penetration. The operating system is Windows 10. This is a key feature of the system as it allows you to run other apps at the same time as the sitemetrix solution. This can be apps such as search engines or maps, as well as access apps such as TeamViewer for remote support and remote file loading. We will now present an overview of the operating system of the sitemetrix solution. Our American colleague Todd Medine has been kind enough to put together the following video to show you the functionality of the system. Note that the American measurement system is inches and feet, but the Australian versions operate in meters and millimeters, as you would expect.
Today, I will be running you through a brief overview of sitemetrix. Sitemetrix is our site positioning solution used for numerous applications, like providing real-time cut and fill anywhere on the job. This is helpful in verifying accuracy of any machines using machine control, or in a more conventional grade checking format, where the user would write the cut or fill on the stake for non-GPS equipped machines. Not only can we provide cut and fill, but we can also give the user capability to stake off of line work and points, providing more information like stationing, offsets, and precise horizontal locations like pipe inverts, building corners, and utility locations. I currently have a job loaded and connected to an emulated rover. This is what the user would see on the data collector. The left box is the plan view. The lines represent certain features of the job, just like looking at a set of blueprints. You will see you and the rover represented by the yellow arrow. Wherever we walk, the map will update with the new position. The text items in the upper left is giving us optional data like the pole height and the current elevation along with the design elevation. These can both be used to verify the accuracy of the rover in all files by finding survey set stakes and verifying that you match the surveyor. Notice the north arrow in the upper right hand corner. When holding the data collector, you will face north to orient the plan view to the job. The scale bar on the bottom right will give a user a sense of scale depending on how far you are zoomed in or zoomed out. Notice when I use the zoom buttons, the scale bar changes. In the upper right hand corner, you will see the cross-section view. This will take a slice of the surface that you're standing on and show you what it looks like from left to right. In this example, it appears to be a flat bottom ditch. The lower right is the profile view. This is similar to cross-section, but shows you a slice of the surface going from behind to in front of you. All three views can be adjusted using the zoom in and zoom out functions. Watch what happens as I turn to the right. Notice how the cross-section and profile views change to represent the new direction. Plan view is great at showing you horizontally where you are at on the project. Profile and section will show the user what the surface inside of the project looks like in an easy-to-use graphical interface. Typically, the most useful piece of data is shown here on the lower right. This is showing you the cut or fill right where you and the rover are located. I have bad eyesight, and this number is a little too small for me. Luckily, we have some different views to choose from. In the toolbar, you will see the Views button. Let's cycle through some of the views. Currently, we are on Plan, Section, and Profile. The next view is Plan View only. This would be useful during a driving topo. This is the Cut Fill view, just about as easy as it can get. Give this to any new hand, and they can easily verify grade, or if the rover is not being used, it can be mounted to a foreman or supervisor's truck using our included quick disconnect and Ram brand data collector mounts. And they can see what the grade is wherever they drive on the job. The next is Plan View with a large light bar on the side, indicating how much cut or fill you have left. Another good view for users or foremen and supervisors. The final, and one of my favorites, is plan, section, and cut fill, giving you the best of both worlds, an easy-to-read, large, formatted grade indication, with two different views helping me keep track of the project in both horizontal and the vertical space. When models are created for a job like this, it is generally built to a finished surface. This would be top of asphalt, concrete, or gravel, depending on the job and materials. The user would have to offset the thickness of the material to get the subgrade. In the lower right-hand corner, you will see the up and down arrows. If we click on the down arrow, you will notice that the offset number changes 1/10 at a time. The cross-section view also has a new line going across it that represents our new offset grade. If we have a large offset or a number not divisible by 1/10, we can manually enter the offset by going into Tools, then Options, then Project Options, and finally Vertical Offset. A negative number means that you want to go lower or cut more. I'll set it at a negative or cut of 1 foot. This is now the job's default vertical offset. So now you don't have to worry about new hands forgetting to add the offset in the morning. It will automatically be done for them. Also, in project options, you can change the amount of each vertical offset button push. By default, it's set to 1/10. I'll change it to 1/2. Now, when I go back into the main screen views, you can see that my new default offset is set to a negative foot. And when I push the offset buttons, it is now only going 1/2 at a time. For most users, this would be enough data to properly grade a job, but we also offer some additional features for more advanced users. If you would need stationing or a particular offset location based off a line, it is easily accessed by entering into the Tools button and selecting Setup Guideline. And now select the Pick Setup Guideline button. Now it is asking us to choose the line that we want stationing and offset from. I'll choose the center of this ditch. Notice the arrows? This is telling us which direction is up station. If for some reason this is going the wrong way, you can easily reverse it using the flip button. In this menu, we can also offset the line. If we wanted to cut 2 foot behind back of curb and the line was not already offset, you could do that here. A positive number would offset to the right of up station and a negative would go to the left. I'll choose a positive 5 foot here and press OK. Now you can clearly see the original red line I selected, and the new blue line is the offset that I added. This makes it easy for the user to verify that they have correctly offset the line in the proper direction. If I knew I would use the line again, I could save it and then load it when needed. I'll now press Accept, and you can see in the main screen views that I have a station and offset in the upper left corner, guiding me to my newly created guideline. We also have the ability to create simple designs in the field. If we go to Tools and take a look at Create Flat Pad, we could create a pad that extend out forever using the same elevation. The elevation can be assigned 2 different ways. The first is established by setting the rover on a known grade or stake and recording its elevation. The second way would be to just enter the elevation manually. Keep in mind that the job's elevation was assigned during the localization. Create Slope is another simple to use tool that will allow more complex designs to be made in the field. Here, we have allowed the user to first create a design by using a guideline to control slope bearing, grade, and main fall. The user can then choose what kind of crossfall by either percent or slope ratio. Not only can we choose that on one side of the guidance line, but we can add a crossfall percent or ratio on the other side of the guidance line. Using this, you can adjust the slope off of any line work you have loaded. This would be useful for road slope redesigns or if a contractor needed a place to get rid of extra material. If a model or localization is not available, we can use the rover to establish a baseline instead of using guidance line. To do this, we just record the 2 points that we'd want to use as a baseline. We can use the first elevation and a main fall percent, or use both elevations to tie 2 existing features together. We can project the main fall slope that we created both forward and backward from the established baseline. It will maintain the main fall slope that you have established. For underground guys, the forward slope will hold the first recorded baseline's elevation, and you can dial in the percent here. For instance, if the first point we shot was the invert of a newly placed manhole, and the second shot was taken at the site of the next manhole you were digging to, you would just enter in the pipe's percent fall and the data collector would take care of the rest. If you shot the 2 baseline points on 2 existing features and you want to grade in between them, then leave this forward slope as is. The next menu is asking you to create a cross-section template to the associated baseline. If this was for a pipe, I would leave it at no cross slope. This will give us a flat bottom trench with no percent fall left or right of the baseline. I would change the width to something more reasonable for a trench, usually the width of the bucket on the mainline excavator, plus a foot or two. If I wanted to build a road, I would tell the configuration I want 2 cross slopes. By default, the left is first. I'll give it a 15-foot wide lane with a minus 2% crossfall. Then I'll hit the arrow to go to the right side, enter in the same values. You can now see the cross-section view of the crown road. If you wanted to add more features like a V-ditch or a tie-in slope, we can add up to 6 cross slopes for a total of 3 per side. Remember, the baseline is the more prominent dashed dot style line in the middle. I find it easier to build from the center out. I now have my crown road set on the left. I'll build a simple V-ditch. For inslopes, we usually use slope ratios instead of percents, which we have the capability to do. And just remember that the negative is going to lower the grade and a positive will raise it. On the left side, I will give just a simple tie-in fill slope of a 2-to-1 slope ratio, and I will make sure that I extend it out far enough to catch the daylight at the bottom of the slope. If you don't need the last cross slope, just give it a width of 0. Notice, if I change the middle cross section to a different percent, it'll update all of the cross sections behind it. Once I press finish and move to the newly created design, you can see that we have built a complex road with minimal effort. We can also edit the slope using the buttons on the bottom of the screen, and we can also save it for future use. Sitemetrix also contains a full topo suite that will allow you to record a precise point both horizontally and vertically. Doing this will give you the capability to record any of the existing utilities marked by the local utility companies before they are wiped out, or even worse, marked in the wrong location. You can topo existing ground in a 30 to 50 foot grid. This will give you a surface that you can then use to compare the existing ground to the proposed grade to verify your and/or the engineer's earth moving quantities. This would also be useful for tracking and billing time and material jobs. When the job is complete, you can use the topo feature to record and then hand in professional looking, accurate as-builts with all of the material quantities and done directly from the data collector. To use this, we start in the main screen views and select Store Points button. Coordinate file is where we'd give the topo a name and save it. This will keep the data neat and organized. Either select the existing file you want to add or create a new file. Description can be used for features like manholes, pipe inverts, and fire hydrants. AutoStore will let us select distance or time to shoot between 2 points automatically. This is useful with large site topos where you can use a truck, four-wheeler, or UTV to drive the site while shooting a topo instead of walking it. Now, in the main screen view, you will notice that the view and buttons have changed. To store a single point manually, select Store Point. If a description is needed, we can go back into settings and force the user to select a description by checking on the prompt for description. Now, when I record a point, it will ask for a description. For a driving topo, just click on the Start Auto, and when I start walking or driving, Sitemetrix will automatically record the points based off the time or distance settings that I gave it earlier. If using a truck, four-wheeler, or side-by-side, you can click on the button to Pickup Truck. This will also change your pre-saved rod height so you don't drive a 100-acre site just to realize you forgot to change it and all of your points are off by 2 feet in elevation. Due to time constraints, I cannot go into every single feature that we have inside of Sitemetrix, but I'd like to give you some insight of the more advanced features that we have to offer you. In volumetrics, we can easily give you the quantities of stockpile and also compare 2 different surfaces for quantities. Along with this, we have the ability to save the volumes to a PDF from the data collector. Almost every single aspect of the software can be customized for you. We can change what the bottom buttons do. The background, surface, and light bar colors can be changed. We can choose which layers you see in the line work of the plan view. You can change any of the text in the main screen views. You can even change the size of the text. All this makes it easy to configure a rover for a new user with limited options, or a power user can make sitemetrix perfectly suited for their individual workflow. You also have the ability to password protect certain settings, jobs, and features to keep rogue button pushers from getting into trouble. We import and export numerous different file types, from everyday DXF and DWGs to TopCon proprietary formats for customers with mixed fleets. If I have missed something or you'd like more information about a particular feature or product, please reach out to me personally, or you can ask a question in the chat box now. I'll now give it back to the presenters to answer any questions. Thank you.
Okay, so now to the summary. Hemisphere is very pleased to be releasing the sitemetrix solution that you have seen demonstrated here today. It offers a new mark with regard to performance and simplicity at an affordable price and is available for evaluation through our dealer network today. The affordable price point makes the system a viable investment to unlock efficiency and cost savings on your site. The barrier to entry for a large sector of the contractor market is now lower, opening this valuable tool to a larger audience for whom the price has previously been prohibitive. This value is provided without an array of costly options. For example, it comes complete with full constellation tracking with no extra costs. Site setup is very simple, either at your own site or joining to an existing site, and the user interface is designed for non-surveyors but with full functionality. How much can you save by completing your own checks and stakeouts without having to understand a complex survey tool? The value calculation could be as simple as, can I save one survey site visit per week? If so, consider a unit, as the weekly cost could be less than the minimum survey call-out fee. And then consider the full story. Your site costs will see a significant impact due to the benefits of increased accuracy, faster completion to design, less fuel, less material, and less external professional fees. And this will ultimately become less time to complete projects and more profit. So what is the price point I've been referring to? The sitemetrix solution is available to you through our experienced dealer network at a price of less than $38,000 for a base and rover system, or less than $25,000 for a rover-only solution. These prices include all options and a 3-year warranty. I'd also like to add here that we will soon be announcing a finance solution that will allow you to spread your purchase over an extended period. If you can save one survey visit to site per week, costing maybe $750 for a minimum call-out fee, and the system costs about $350 a week, would this be interesting? And you own the system in 3 years, the goods being under warranty the whole time. So in conclusion, contact your dealer or contact us and we'll put you in touch with one of our partners. Invest 15 minutes of your time finding out how fast we can have you trialing a system and starting to save money. You should also be aware of the government stimulus initiative currently available for purchases before June 30 this year. All acquisitions can have the entire cost depreciated this year. If you purchase the system this year, you get your tax back within months. Feel free to contact your dealer or Hemisphere with any questions. Thank you for attention. Have a great day. We'll leave the chat box open now for a little while so we can answer any of your questions. Just jump on there and ask us whatever you would like to ask.